Hey guys, a warm welcome back to the channel. We are back on the BBI again today, but Carrots Rib Body Shop, where the BBI is currently located, is still shut for another day or two. But that's not going to stop me. We are going to focus on some other bits that we have here at the house, which I mentioned in the last video, the interior specifically. Now, I've got to say before we start, thank you so much for all the comments on the last video. Really, that inspired me to crack on with this build. And also, it gave me some amazing advice on the decision I've made on the interior. So please do keep those coming. It really does help me, and it really does, like I say, motivate me to really push on with this build. Anyway, guys, let's head into the garage. I'll explain what we got installed today. Now, in the previous video, I asked for your opinion on what you would do with the interior of the BBI. In particular, I mentioned the seats, but the rest of the interior is pretty much the same story to various degrees. However, I mentioned the passenger seat, showed you this, and said that whenever you put any weight on it, me being the weight, and over Christmas there's a bit more of that, that the leather is so dry that it splits and cracks apart. It's like cardboard, there's no suppleness to it. It's bone dry basically, and then the driver's side seat is even worse. Now, I've got to thank you so much for all the comments. There were hundreds of them, and I want you guys to go back and have a look because I couldn't believe it. It literally split the masses, divided opinion down the middle, 50-50. You guys, half of you said 100% this needs to be retrimmed. We're doing the whole car, everything is going back to nut and bolt. Why not do the interior? I kind of get that a little bit. Part of me wants to go with the other side, which is saying that can all be rectified. We can save that, keep the originality, keep the patina if needs be of it, and save it. Get some advice on it. I read all of your comments, and I've done some of this stuff before in the past. So basically, as I said in the last video, that is what I would love to do, is save these seats. I don't think they are beyond saving. So we're going to give it a go. Here's the worst case scenario. I'm going to give it a go. If it doesn't work, then we go for option A and we retrim the whole lot. But why not try and save them, see how we get on with it. So today, we're going to do some work on the interior. Now, as I said, over the years, I have done a bit of restoration on my seats, cleaned them up. We've got here tanned beige. That was one of my 308s. Oh, another one there, another 308 one. We got some black in there with some dark brown somewhere. That was Ratarossa. That was the dash on the Ratarossa. And then we've got various other products here which I'm going to use to try and resurrect these seats. Right, first of all, we are going to go and give it a nice old clean up. Going to get the vacuum out and then just start to put some product on. Okay, so that's the first part done. Next, I'm going to use some gentle cleaner, give them a clean up with a soft sponge. Now, I haven't got much of this left, so hopefully we've got enough to do at least the seats. I can always get some more. So let's just do one seat at a time here. So I'm going to do this passenger seat. Smells all right. Now I'm going to be redoing all the colour, most likely going to have to redo all the colour on the seats and all the blue interior as well. So I'm not too fussed about that. This exercise is all really going to be more to do with getting this leather nice and supple so it can actually be used and sat on. Again, it's so dry, this is just sinking in so quickly. This is just cleaning solution. Okay, that's that bit done. Next, so I've left that for a little bit to work its way in. I'm now going to aggravate it a little bit with this brush. Also going to help me get right into those little cracks. Now I'm really focusing on this area. Oh, there goes my door panel. Just use a little bit of water because it is so dry. Next step is to just dry that off, soak it up with a damp cloth. So we've got a fresh one here. Look at that. That is the blue coming off. It's the blue dye. Like I say, not worried about that at all because I intend to totally redo the blue and the white on here if possible. So I'm going to leave that just to soak in that final bit of moisture. That's certainly not going to hurt the seats. While I do that, let me show you a couple of other things we've been doing on this project. Now guys, this is complete dedication to getting the build 100% correct and back to factory. The other day I was on eBay and I saw a spare wheel for a BBI. It was actually quite a good price, so I had a look at it and I couldn't believe it. It had the spare wheel cover that I'm missing on the car. You can't get these things for love nor money. Most of the cars, fortunately, at some point that were sold, for some reason people don't put toolkits in there. We need a toolkit, as you know, and spare wheels and things like that just don't get sold with the cars. Anyway, this guy had a BB years and years ago, and in his garage he had a spare wheel with the cover. Now I don't need the spare wheel, as you saw in the cleanup video with ammo. I already have one of those, but I need the cover, so I've bought both of the things together because he wouldn't split them, and now we're on a 3-hour journey. This is the dedication for you, family outing, to go and buy the BBI spare wheel cover. There you go. Guys, who wants to stop at somewhere really cool?
Yeah, Daddy!
Okay girls, do you want to visit Porsche today, or do you want to visit Ferrari? This is the spare wheel cover on the Ferrari 512 BBI. It's literally a bit of fiberglass there, covered in the correct material, but it's super rare. You can't buy these anymore, and when they come up, like I say, that's what it takes, a 5-hour round trip. And but it's well worth it. This is going to clean up lovely. It's very good condition. It's got all the right pieces in place. Just got to glue the sides there of this material, and then just give it a quick vacuum and it'll be good as new. Seats have been drying for a little while now, so the next stage is to use some of this. And again, it was recommended by quite a few of you. Neats for oil. Now, you really don't want to know what the ingredients are of this. I'll let you guys go and Google search that. But apparently it's one of the best products you can do this to revitalize and get that suppleness back in your leather. So I am going to use some of this. Now I've only got a little can here, probably going to have to get a lot more of this, and I suspect with the seats we're going to have to do more than one coat. So I'm going to apply some to this one, and then we are going to see how this works. First problem is getting into the thing. Now it does say to apply this sparingly to the underside of the leather. Now obviously with this, that is pretty impossible. I could probably get some under here if I really fished around, but I don't want to mess around with this leather too much. It is just so brittle. So I'm going to give this a shot. We're going to go from the upside here. Obviously we've got the leather dye. I'm hoping it will all penetrate. So we'll give it a go. Like I say, if this doesn't work, we can always do plan B on it. And also we can speak to an expert. So I'm going to apply a first coat of this. Now let's just watch to see how this just soaks in. This stuff does not smell good at all. I could be in the doghouse if Lexi discovers what I've got planned for this in the next stage. So the back of the seats are not too bad. Got this rigid panel here anyway, so there's no real major problems here apart from a couple of little scuffs. So that's all done. I've applied quite a lot on there in the hope that it's going to penetrate through the dye into the leather. Obviously I'd have loved to have done it the correct way from the underside, but it's impossible with most parts of this seat, pretty much all of this seat. Next stage is another tip supplied by you guys, so thank you very much, in the comments, and that is to wrap this now with some cling film, and then we need to put it in a warm environment. Now the garage obviously gets very cold. It's January now, and so we're gonna move this inside the house, and it stinks. So I'm not gonna be flavour of the month after doing this. Anyway, let's wrap it up and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna do this and we'll see if it makes any difference. As you can see, I'm a professional doing this. Not too bad. Oh, I've just missed a bit. Give some there. A little bit more there. Let's get it all over this leather. Look at the foam. You can see the foam. It's all right. It's totally fine. That is not disintegrating at all. I'm happy with that. All right. Let's see if we can get this on here. So there you go. That is one seat wrapped. I'm available for Christmas and birthday wrapping. Professional as always. Okay, so the next plan with this one is going to go in the house. I'm going to leave it in one of the spare bedrooms just to stink out the whole house. I'm going to shut the door so no one can really discover what I've been up to in here. And then we're going to just leave that for a day or so. Let that soak in. I'm going to unpeel it and then I'm going to just repeat the process. I'm going to just keep repeating it and see if we can bring that leather back to life. So I'm going to come back in a future video. This is going to take a little while just to see if this actually works. Worst case, we're going to try plan B. Now I'm going to do exactly the same with the rest of the interior here. So we're going to feed it, wrap it, repeat it if necessary, and hopefully bring all of this dried out leather back to life again. Now most of it is actually pretty good already. There's a couple of parts that are particularly bad. That's these bits here behind the seats where we've got these little storage pockets. Now these, look at that. Just there's no play in that at all. It's just really dry. So we're going to take our time with these and just do it very gently. The other bits are quite lucky because the stitching on these is the same colour anyway, so that would make life a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to try that. We're going to do it nice and slowly. There's no rush with this because it's not going back in the car for a little while yet. And like I say, worst case scenario, there's a plan B or a plan C on this to try and get it to work. Now another part that was bizarrely stolen from the car was the interior rear view mirror. So we've got the mirror's come off, but it goes up there. And not broken. We'll hide that down there. This, I've discovered, up in my spares box, was one that came out of my 308. Now they're exactly the same part number. However, unfortunately, this one, and the reason it's a spare, is the glass is broken, and also this little bit here that attaches to the windscreen, there's another part to this that is missing. The other bit glues to the windscreen and this pops in place. So if anyone's got any suggestions or if anyone recognises that to make to look like something from a Fiat, a Lancia of the same era, please do let me know. I can't buy this part separately as far as I know. And also, if anyone knows of a company that can cut a piece of glass like that, I can easily split this apart. Otherwise, it's very good condition. I don't know why that would have been stolen. It's a very bizarre thing. But to replace that, I think I've said to you guys before, it's about £1,200 for one of those. So if we can use this one, it will be really good. So if you've got any suggestions, guys, please do drop those in the comments below. And another cool thing that happened recently was I was out for dinner with my buddy Big Chris, and he hands over a box, and inside was one of these. Now, the random thing about this is that he had no idea, when I sent off all the stuff to be zinc plated and recoated at Chingford, the only part that really suffered was this. And as you can see, it kind of perished and melted some of these parts. We just couldn't take it apart. It's one complete unit. And so when he handed me over the other part, I was like, how the heck did you know about that? But anyway, thank you very much, Chris. That was really cool. Can't wait to put that one back on the engine when we get that one sorted out. And the final load of treasure I found was this radio system from the BBI. Now, all three of these components came from different places. The speakers were from the UK. The graphic equalizer came from France, I believe. Head unit from the US, and they're all extremely expensive. Head unit needs a little bit of work. Now, the only difference between these and the Pioneer equipment of the day is the Ferrari little logo in the corner just down there. Otherwise, you could buy these off the shelf from Pioneer. So that's our head unit. Then we've got the correct graphic equalizer again in the box with the Ferrari logo down there. And the final bit are the door speakers, brand new in box. These are the correct ones, they're not logoed, they go in the BBI. So the strange and bizarre thing about this is that the car, when it was first produced and came to Maranello here in the UK, the day before it went to the original owner, it went to Thames Car Radio, who fitted the very, very expensive top of the range radio system, everything as you've seen in the car before. And yeah, then it went to the first owner. So in a way, that is more original than this is going to be to the car. But I'm putting the car back to factory spec. So all of this is going to go in there. And then the plan is, if I ever do sell the car, we'll keep all of the current kit that's in there already, and that will stay with the car as well. Well, guys, there you go. That is the updates on the BBI. Actually, I'm telling a lie. It's not. It's the next morning. I'm going to close off the video, but let's have a quick look at the seat. I've just brought it back in, and I just made a little hole in it. So let's have a look at this. Check this out. All right, you can see that all of that massive oil, kind of oily product that I put in here, look at that. It's soaked a lot of it in already. Now let's just do a little test. So driver's seat that we haven't touched at the moment, and this is the passenger seat. Let's see what it's done to that leather. Okay, not so bad. And then let's compare that. Oh yeah, that is a difference. I can tell you that for sure. That is definitely an improvement. Now that is still not something that I would be confident in sitting on and not splitting, but that is definitely a major improvement, especially on some of these bits here. Let's those back bits. Wow. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm going to put another coat on the seat. Actually, I'm probably going to leave it another half a day for the rest of that oil to penetrate in. And that in itself is crazy. You saw the amount on the video that I put on that seat. The fact that it's just feeding in is a great sign to start with, because it means the plan is working. It's getting into the leather through the dye. So that's really cool. I'm going to leave that probably for another day until there's no kind of residue of the oil. Then I'm going to coat it again, wrap it, and let's see. Put in the comments below if you think this is going to work. I have no idea. This is a bit of a gamble for me. Like I say, it's a no-brainer. We'll try it if we can do it, and we can make these seats look really, really good enough to go back in the car, then that is job done. If not, then hey, it was worth a try. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you just want to find out what I get up to on a daily basis, check out my Instagram. Until the next time guys, stay safe, ciao for now. Who wants to play a game?
Okay, Daddy.
This one's called Spot the Supercar.